Okay, so I think we're going to give you a tour of the drum shop real quick. We'll see how real quick we actually get with it. This is where I turn them. I've got one on here right now you can take a look at. This little guy's spalted maple. Lathe is my little Grizzly. It's a 16 by 42. I do create a bit of sawdust with it. But it's all part of the process. Sawdust I use for mulch in my yard oftentimes. And then over here, the basic tools for carving these guys. The 50cc gas chainsaw. Got an electric chainsaw. This is a Hitachi side grinder with an Arbortech carving bit and a Proxxon mini grinder. I've got I've got 4 or 5 different carving bits for both of these. I also have the homemade chisel. This is how I do the inside of the stem. Use an air hammer to pound right through them. And I actually built a forge just so I could make this little guy. Works great. Now here we have more sawdust. Lots more sawdust. There's actually about 3 to 6 inches of sawdust in any given point out here. But the log sits on here when I'm working on it. It's kind of like my little flat space. These pieces you see here are actually off of the one that's on the lathe in there. This log I strap them up sideways to do the inside of the stem and such. That's why there's a slight V in the top of it and a strap on it. And then round over here you have the solar kiln, and when the drum is rough cut and then turned, I wax it and put it into a burlap bag and then set it in here, which this little puppy gets up to between 120 and 140 degrees during the day. At like 70 degrees outside it'll do that. I haven't actually had it long enough to know what it'll do at 90. But anyway, it dries them out in 2 weeks to a month depending on what type of wood I'm cutting. Got my scrap box, which fills up rather quickly. You know, every woodworker's got to have a scrap box next to their saw, and mine just happens to be a trailer since my scraps are a little bigger. All that'll become firewood during the winter, keep my shop and my house warm. So here we got the supply area. We got logs for drums, logs for, well, some of them will be drums, some of them will be other carvings, and some of it will be firewood, but I have to go through it before I figure out exactly what's what. So, after the initial turn on the lathe, they look like these guys. And you see all the lines and stuff still in it, but I let it dry that way, and because they get out around a little bit, they shrink and move when they dry out. But this has got a coat of a wax and oil mix that I make on it. Same with these two. And I took them out of the burlap bags to bring them out here for the video, but these two are actually ready to go back on the lathe. They've been drying for about 2-3 weeks. This guy just did Friday, so it's not quite done yet. And then over here, I come off the lathe the second time, and they're ready to go. This is another one of the spalted maples, like the one that's on the lathe now. It's a really pretty wood. Kind of hard to find in chunks that big. Those 2 logs actually laid around in my yard for a year before I realized what I had. And then these are the ones that are done. They have heads on them. I've got elm, cottonwood, the maple, hackberry, and then the ashikos here are actually plywood. I don't actually do the ashikos, make any ashikos much anymore since I've been concentrating on the carving, but I think I've got it pretty down pat after 20 years of making drums. So hoping to see these guys make it to my next couple of shows and sell off so I can get more logs to make more drums. Anyway, well, thanks for watching. Have a good day.